Hello YouTube, I have another video for you. I feel like the camera is further away than it was last time. I should really put like a tape X on the floor or something, I don't know. Anyway, today, if you've read the title, you probably still don't know what I'm going to talk about. I am going to talk about what I do for my grad school, for getting my PhD. The reason I'm talking about this is because someone asked in the comments a day or two ago what I do. So, broadly speaking, my degree is a degree in what's called computational biology. Computational biology is just a fancy term for using computers to help answer biological questions. So these days we can sequence DNA, RNA, proteins, and we generate massive amounts of data. And a lot of what I do is analyze that data, though what I really do is generate that data and then analyze it. So, in particular, I work on the microbiome, or the microbiota. So, for everyone who's not aware of what that is, you currently have trillions of bacteria living on and in you, and most of these bacteria are harmless, and actually a lot of them are doing things that are good for you. There are some foods that you couldn't eat without these helpful bacteria. The microbiome, I'm going to use the term microbiome, we'll live with that debate as it were. The microbiome is everywhere. Your skin has a microbiome, your eyes have a microbiome, but most importantly, or at least the easiest to study, your gut has a microbiome. And that's what I study. I study the gut microbiome, so the bacteria that live in your stomach. But I study the things that live in those bacteria, well, live being an operative term. I study something called bacteriophages, or phages for short, and what these are they're viruses that infect bacteria, and inside of your gut are millions, billions, probably trillions of phages, which are actively infecting the bacteria that are living there, sometimes for bad reasons, sometimes for good reasons. Well, we don't know if they're good per se, but actually, to be honest, we don't know that much about them at all. Bacteriophages are one of the kind of frontiers of biology right now. We still, in over 100 years of knowing about them, really don't understand very much. The phages that we have studied have been the ones that were easy to analyze, easy to purify or to culture away from the other ones, and those all tend to come from the same family of viruses, so they all look pretty much the same. And it turns out only about 80% of global what phages look like we think are accounted for, which means 80% of, I've phrased that horribly, 20% of phages are known, 80% of phages that exist, we don't know what they look like, we don't know how to find them, and we don't know what they do. And that's part of what I'm trying to help solve, is how do we find these mystery phages? And more than that, how do we figure out what bacteria get infected by these phages? Because it turns out we don't really have a solution to that problem either. Without getting into excruciating scientific and computational detail, that's basically what I do, is I try to study the interactions of bacteria and bacteriophages and to find new bacteriophages. Partly because it turns out bacteria and phages play a big role in human health, both in disease and when you don't have a disease. We think the microbiome plays a significant role in whether you're healthy or not, whether you feel depressed or not. It's incredibly important, and we're only scratching the surface on what it does. And to be honest, this is why I became a scientist, because I'm on the frontier. I'm getting to see things that potentially no human being has seen before. It's kind of like Star Trek. I get to go where no man has gone before, and I think that's pretty awesome.